It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. I don't know much about Pokemon, but I liked it.
Now you do.
It was cool. Yeah. I feel like I should do some more research now.
So glad
you'll have to go through the
I like the timing
through
of
the
just
Twitch chat
talking
for
about
more
them
Pokemon facts.
and then they're there.
Here we go. Mr. Brand New DM, why don't you introduce yourself for us? Just let us know your name and where in New Zealand that you're from, and then I'll leave you guys to it.
Good afternoon. I'm Matt. I'm in Auckland. I'm from somewhere else entirely. Let's not go into details. Let's play some D&D.
Yeah, let's do it. I will see you guys in 90 minutes. Have a good time with the rest of your game.
Sweet. Thanks, Penny.
First things first, let's get you where you ought to be. Wherever you were stood before, doesn't matter anymore. Wherever you'd stood before that is gone in equal measure. Everything that you've seen and experienced in the time that you have been yourselves falls away from you completely. The universe, the multiverse, spits you out. Whatever all this chaos is, whatever keeps happening, you seem to be a locus for it. And like an immune response, you are ejected. You find yourselves in an endless, indistinct, shifting, silvery void. It's an obscure mix of lights and darks, hard to see exactly how far things are, and you take some time for your eyes to adjust. If you guys want to check yourselves down on the map that you can see, we should be over on, I believe I've dragged you to the correct map already. Is everyone here?
Yep, coming in.
Someone threw me in again.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
There we go. And if anyone's just starting to tune into the stream now, do you guys want to reintroduce your characters? It's been a hot minute since we got to know who you were, so let's go ahead and do a rundown.
Well, I'm Jocelyn Dorokin, but my friends call me Speedy Joe.
Okay, I am Dr. Samuel Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, currently on a mission to hunt down the entity that is destroying the multiverse. I have lost my ability to see into other dimensions, and I'm currently tasked with finding them.
I am Maxilin Bartelos, Arch Knight of the Emerald Fold. I do not know where I am, I do not know what my task is, but I know I must do something.
Last two, be brave.
I'm Danny. I'm the Hill Dwarf cleric who's been recently ejected from the temple for being just a little too quick on the draw with her mace, and she's now roaming through this multiverse trying to work out where she's off to next.
And lucky last.
Charleston Goldfield, a halfling rogue who has a bit of a dodgy work history and currently has a bit of a dodgy Roll20 that he's refreshing.
All right, well, hopefully we'll get that result before too long then. All good stuff. This is a challenging place for the mind. Immediately as you end up in this space, you feel a kind of a weightlessness, but one that seems to come internally rather than externally. It's like there are just no forces acting on your body. You can tense muscles. They seem to expand and contract normally. You can move your fingers, you can move your legs, but there seems to be no way to physically move yourself through this space. It's at the same time freeing and restricting. You can't push against anything to go anywhere, but also you feel that emptiness, that freeness of there being nothing contacting you in any physical capacity. Moving here is going to be a completely difficult and different affair to what you're used to. Can I get everyone here to just make a straight up wisdom roll. Just flat wisdom. Or intelligence, whichever is higher for you.
Oh, did you want wisdom save or a wisdom roll?
Not a save, just a flat roll. So just D20 plus wisdom mod. Alrighty.
Sorry, how do I do just a normal check, not a save?
In a
you
pinch.
click on the actual stat. There's a under the sidebar where there's the 6 stats. You just click on the word wisdom.
Cool. Everyone has come up with 2 rolls for me, which is
Just take the first one unless they have advantage.
Okay. Sam. Oh no, the second one's not a save. Cool. Sam and Claire, your respective characters both. You take a moment, if you will, instead of panicking as your bodies continue to move and shift about, ineffectually pushing against the nothing around you. You continue doing that for a short time, and then the cerebrality of your mind kicks in. It's not going to work. There's something else to this. And you take a moment to visualize yourself moving, if you will. You think about how it feels to walk or to run and move through physical space. And as you think about it, as you visualize it, you find that you're able to move your legs in synchronicity with your own imagination, and that starts to propel you just a little bit. It's awkward and not super easy, and you're definitely not going at the speed that you're expecting, which leads to almost a kind of vertigo-like sensation as your mind is imagining you moving faster than you appear to physically be moving through this space. And with the indistinct distances associated with this space, it's just compounding it. You feel a little dizzy. Can I get a very quick con save from the two of you?
Which 2?
Same again, Sam and Claire. And someone has a natural 20 for whoever needs this next. You know what? I'm going to hold on to that. That's mine.
Yeah.
And Claire, you've got a nat 20 as well if you want to use it.
Was that an ability check or?
Constitution.
This one's a save, con save. This is just a straight up, hey, it's a nat 20. You can use it if you want.
Yeah, I might use that with my 5.
Yeah, sure, yeah. The good news is you both hold on to the contents of your stomachs. Claire, it's a little bit more difficult for you. Like, you kind of feel yourself tumble forward. There is this extreme dizzy spell as you kind of feel like you're spinning end over end. Just as you can feel the contents of your stomach start to kind of churn up, you feel the lining of your throat and mouth slick with saliva. You imagine yourself not spinning and not throwing up, and the same trick kind of works again. You're able to control your physicality through your mind. From here on out, guys, your movement, your speed is going to be determined by your highest mental ability score, so either wisdom or intelligence multiplied by 2. Remove your regular speed score. That is going to be your new speed score for the entire time we're in this space.
Yes, no more disadvantage from being
is movement.
From 40 to 2.
2. No, your score, not your modifier. So your base ability score.
Okay. So
Yeah, I was going to say, whoa, lad.
Cool.
40 to 20.
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah, and then round that to the nearest 5. So, for example, if you have a 16 doubles to 32, round down to the nearest 5, which is 30.
A question: mobile feet doesn't affect anything here?
Unfortunately not. Again, your mind is movement. All of the physical acumen you have, all of the things that you are used to having work for you in the material world no longer function here. They no longer apply. Your abilities with your weapons all still remain the same. That's all well and good. That is your that's like your physical know-how acting on an object, which then propels through the space since objects can't think. But for your physical movement, this is all you have as you float indistinctly through the space. Can I get a perception check from everyone?
Does the telekinetic feat help me?
You know what? It may just. Let me have a quick gander. And
Do you want me to pop it in chat?
no, I got it right here. Because this could well help you. Insofar as this this usually lets you move a physical object. It's related. It certainly makes things easier for you. Because usually telekinesis is basically substituting the like physical force that would usually push an object with a mental force that would push an object. But fundamentally, you're still using force to push an object through a space. That physical chain of cause and effect kind of breaks down here, where a force is not necessarily applied to an object as uniformly, assuming the object also has the capacity for thought. So for inanimate objects, you would find this quite an easy space to work in because your mind is used to doing this. But it also means that kind of taking that leap from manipulating inanimate objects to manipulating thinking objects like your own physical person isn't as great for you as it might be for other people. As for that perception check, this one's all over the place. Sam, I imagine you're still kind of like looking up and down and around at your limbs trying to get a handle on
I'm trying to picture my baby legs as like a motorboat.
Yeah. Like spin like a propeller. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, there's also a nat 20 for the first combat roll, whatever that happens to be. I'm going to assume that's after initiative, so let's just hold that one in the bag for the meantime. Gosh, I'm going to say this name wrong. Josla and Maxilin, the two of you, as you start to trying to focus on the space around you, you're finding one of the bigger barriers to moving well and easily is you have a very flimsy sense of where you are. It's hard for your eyes to focus when the space just seems to continue endlessly. There is no horizon. There's no vanishing point. It's hard to tell how near or far something is, especially when the only visual things around you are these indistinct swirls of this kind of silvery sheen, or sometimes almost this like backlit mass of darkness. It's difficult to see. So you focus on that first. You focus on getting your physical bearings. It's like when you're drunk in a bathroom and you can't really focus on the wall while you're stood over the sink. So you like take a minute and then your eyes start to adjust. You get a sense of yourself in this space. And the two of you both see the same thing at the same time. Probably far in the distance, though it is still not super easy to tell. Initially, it looks like there's some kind of human-sized slug-like creature kind of moving through some clouds near you. And you realize it is huge and very, very far away. In fact, if it's as far away as your eyes seem to think it is, then based on the size you're seeing, if you were up close to this, it would be gargantuan, incomprehensibly large. I don't know that any of you would have ever seen anything like this before, but you're welcome to
roll like an Arcana check to see if I think it's some kind of magical creature. Or if it's
yeah, I feel like you'd have cause to do that. So yeah, go ahead, make an Arcana check.
21.
Would a religion check come in any handy?
Yeah, actually, it definitely would here.
Or not.
Oh.
I'm not great at my job.
I mean, you were kicked out of a temple, right?
That is a big boy.
As for Arcana, this is ever so slightly more fruitful, but this is weirdly enough, it's slightly more religious matter than it is a magical one. So this is more your understanding of where. This is almost like theurgy to you. This is where the line between religion and magic gets blurred insofar as gods are supremely powerful, but albeit magically capable beings. It's on the edge of your mind. You can't quite place it, but this is you are pretty sure this is a creature related to some divine mandate, but that would be scripture, and that's where your knowledge starts to fall short.
Yeah.
You remember hearing something like once.
Me being a doctor and a man of science magic, I don't technically believe it to be a god of any kind. I just think it's a giant monstrosity that's probably responsible for destroying our dimensions. So that's the assumption my character's going to make.
Hey, Doc, heard of star whales before?
I say to the party, I'm like, I have not been able to visualize the entity, but I have reason to believe that this may be part of what's destroying the world. There must be a reason that we are here for it.
Do you think I should hit it with my hammer?
I could hit it with mine as well. We could do it at the same time.
I don't know. From my extensive knowledge, he's pretty big boy.
Yes.
There is also the matter of getting close to it.
Yeah.
At present, you're getting there. You're getting there with the whole moving thing. It's taking a bit of time. It's sort of like walking for the first time, only the difference is when you first start walking, your legs aren't as well developed as they are when you're fully grown. Because this is done with your mind, it's not like your mind is somehow not fully formed. Like, you are approaching this with the brain and considerable mental acumen of a fully grown adult, which does make it a bit easier. It makes it much quicker to learn. And with that being the case, just starting to get a handle on the movement thing. So everyone's movement scores should all be locked in now. If you want to chuck them in the chat real quick, remember your highest mental stat between either wisdom or intelligence, double it, round it to the nearest 5. That's your speed. Wow. Maxilin is going to be at a crisp clip of 20.
Would you like to ride on my shoulders, Max?
His specialty. Yes, please. Take me, baby man.
Curiously, that's a lot easier than it usually would be because, again, you're not relying on your muscles to move. Carrying someone is like nothing as long as you are mentally in sync enough.
Also going to be a lot easier because I'm going to cast Enlarge Reduce and make him smaller. So I can actually
yeah, hell yeah, cool. He's just a tiny guy, just a little guy. Back. Yeah, just a real little
marvelous group we have.
just a small dude, huh? Cool.
Just repaying the debt, my friend.
Yeah,
thank you.
Spiky half plate and all.
Now that you have movement down pat and you're starting to get a bit of a feel for the physicality of this space, you start to look around to try and find anything visually that you can latch onto. The longer you look, the more you're starting to notice things, more than just shapes and movements and colors. When I say things, like that large creature in the distance, every so often you can kind of see it partially illuminated by something as it seems to slide effortlessly through this space, moving in all directions and up and down towards whatever it is it's seeking. You're also starting to see a few other things. You see what maybe looks like rocky chunks. You can see almost comet-like structures. You're starting to notice little details. It's hard for your eyes and mind to latch onto them for long enough to truly process them. It's almost like being in a dream. Sometimes when you look at it directly, it just seems to shift and become indistinct until your mind just replaces it with something else altogether. But you are getting there. And I'm going to leave this bit to you guys. What are we up to? What's the plan?
I just turn to everybody and I say, make sure you use your mind. Think, don't do.
I'm good at doing, not so much thinking.
Now,
but I'll try for you.
Do less.
Do less. I believe we need to find a way to get to the entity. Seems to be a very slow track there, though. If anybody has any ideas, because I have none.
We're going towards the big boy.
We must.
To hit it.
We must.
Not to hit it.
Think at it.
Yes.
To think about hitting it.
Yes. Maybe we should get a boat.
Can we think about a boat?
Yeah, I think really hard about a boat.
You think? I mean, it doesn't materialize in front of you necessarily. But like with all of you in unison thinking about a boat, a really peculiar thing starts to happen. It's like an amount of this thought is shared between you, and a problem starts to occur where you all envision a slightly different boat. And as those thoughts kind of collide in the ether between you all, you're all kind of tapping into that same bed of thought, which means what you're getting in your own brain is like, let's say you're imagining a rowboat and it keeps just shifting. Like suddenly there's like a mast and sails and someone else is like imagining a paddle wheel on the side and someone else is imagining something completely different. And like this boat, an interesting thing happens there. And I would say, I know that you're not Steve. It's Samuel, isn't it? Samuel Strange.
Yeah.
Okay,
Dr.
good.
Samuel Strange.
Samuel Strange. I was like, I know that this is an homage, but yeah, anyway, we got there. So you actually kind of you make a bit of a connection in your mind here. You realize that this is futile. And as this whole thing continues, you're still trying to picture this boat. It keeps shifting. And the more you try and lock in your boat that you're imagining, the more force gets applied to the shared imagination of this boat. And as you each amplify the thing you're thinking of, the boat just becomes more and more unstable until essentially the thought collapses and the whole thing is wiped clean. You find yourselves unable to picture a boat. Your mind feels a bit foggy and fuzzy, and a really interesting connection gets drawn in your mind, Samuel. The more you all pushed, the more force got applied, the more unstable it became until the thought itself ejected you. And you start to build an inkling of how you ended up here in the first place.
What happens if Charlton tries to minor illusion a boat? Just a small one in his hand.
Deadly easy. Easier than it usually is, in fact.
Making this right. Boat?
Boat. Maybe not that boat, but that's
For the little guy. Come on in.
I turn to the group. Obviously, I just mainly gesture towards the cleric, the only like other seemingly intelligent person there. And I'm just like, let me ponder something past you. When we all tried to picture said boat, the more we thought about it, the more it tried to exist and then not exist. I want to throw this by everybody. How about we think about this beast and in turn try to either be there by it or push it out?
Do we need to think about being near the beast? Do we need to think about the beast?
That
Will
is
we
what
be
I wanted
inside
to
the
ponder past
beast?
everybody. I do not wish to ponder being inside the beast. I
If
feel like
we're
that is
inside,
often
we
what
could
need.
hit it hard.
No,
Really hard. Twice. With both of our hammers.
Samuel,
So
I think that kind of check.
yeah.
Oh, decent. Yeah. As that idea gets tossed around, as much as you would usually very quickly discount Maxillen's ideas, especially when it comes to hitting things, him saying from inside, like, again, you've maybe like read or heard about something reminiscent of what you're seeing like once ever. And you remember there being a peculiar detail about the interior of it. You can't quite place that detail. It's just like that really vague kind of memory, and you're like, something's on the tip of my mind. I can't quite place it. Just a really vague memory of the inside of this creature not being like a normal creature's insides. It's one of its many arcane peculiarities.
Maxwell, I feel like I owe you an apology. You may be the smartest one here out of all of us.
I wouldn't go so far to say that, but thank you.
Is it Danielle?
So we do want to think about being... Ooh, no, Danny. Ooh.
Danny, that's the one. Yes. My
We wanna
brain
try being
and the amount of ultrasounds that I've seen over these last weeks, there has definitely been a Danielle somewhere.
We don't speak of Daniela.
We ponder something that we do not normally study, which you might have more of an idea of. I remember something about a large beast, and something Maxwell has said has triggered said memory of it not being the same kind of thing inside. It's not necessarily a creature, but perhaps a world inside of some kind, or something else along those lines. I do not remember exactly. Do you have any insight on maybe a celestial creature of some kind?
Do you want to go ahead and make another religion check? Yeah. Go ahead and make a religion check here. Let's just see what happens. Let's just roll dice until something happens. That's the game, right?
Also, I remember from before I did have a nat 20 ability check stored up.
From the previous DM?
Yeah. Do those carry over or nay?
I mean, a part of me is tempted to say no because you could just be lying, but I'll be magnanimous and say go ahead.
Do we all remember that, guys?
It'll be in the backlog.
Sure.
All right. Can I use a nat 20 for this religion check?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make a religion check.
Who's using the nat 20? I think you said.
Yep.
I'll be good at this.
So,
for once.
well, I mean, including your score, what does that result to?
Oh, right. So that would be a 22.
A couple of things kind of come back together here for you. This is some old stuff. Like we're talking like, you know, there's reading the Bible, and then there's like reading the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like this is like the deep lore almost of the general pantheonic religion that you're used to. There is a space between spaces. Oftentimes, gods being physical things will occupy these broad outer spaces. Samuel, this is something you would know about. This is the planes. This is the planar structure. This is very known to those of arcane persuasions, very well established. And even the idea of there being gods or, you know, creatures powerful enough that they're often considered to be gods being in these outer spaces, yeah, that's all well and good. For you, Samuel, like that kind of clicks into place. You're like, right, we're in the astral sea, the place between places. The endless voids of stuff. On the religious side of this, when the astral sea was first forayed into by living, breathing creatures, the gods were afraid that this was going to mean creatures could access the planes that constituted their homes, the places where they reside. Someone powerful enough to make it into the astral sea might even be powerful enough to threaten a god. So they put in place a number of security measures, some to do with redefining the structure of the planes themselves. Others were more like guard dogs. This is what that is. You recall the creature's name as well. It's an astral dreadnought.
Name.
So this big boy is a guard dog, an astral dreadnought.
That sounds like some kind of boat.
It does.
As we were picturing before.
Are we thinking about a
Dreadnoughts
boat
are a
again?
class
Stop
of
thinking about a boat.
I think we should think about that boat.
I think you should level up real quick as well. While you're thinking.
Can somebody do my tokens again?
So we should be thinking about the astral dreadnought being a boat?
No, more like us being
I like
on
that
the
plan.
boat, but not inside of some digestive stomach of some. Not that one, but as if being in the dreadnought, but also
Or
a boat.
on the dreadnought?
Or on.
You know what, Samuel, this is where the name Astral Dreadnought starts to ring a bell for you. Like, this is where you remember reading that name on a page. You remember a couple of little details about it. And this is what's peculiar about the interior of it. Astral Dreadnoughts exist to destroy things in the Astral Sea. They are a security measure. Their hunger is utterly endless. And because they exist to destroy things, they are very simplistic and brutalistic about how they go about it. They tear things completely asunder and swallow them. By the time something gets into the interior of an Astral Dreadnought, it is long dead.
Oh yeah, we don't want to do that.
With maybe few exceptions.
Yeah.
And the tome you read was from one such exception. The inside of an Astral Dreadnought, being that one can't die and be digested in the normal way in the Astral Sea. All matter is matter. If it were to be eaten and then passed through and passed out, it would still be matter that could constitute into something. It's still organic. It could come back to life. It could still be a threat. The gods need things removed from the Astral Sea. The interior of an Astral Dreadnought is not a digestive system. It's a demiplane of organic detritus.
Organic detritus is a word that has popped into my mind that sounds very unpleasant.
Detritus.
But
that's a new one.
I do believe if we were to enter its boat belly, we would not die.
We shall go to the cargo hold.
I feel like it may be a way out. Because these creatures need to remove things from the plane. So I feel like that may be our ticket. I do not wish to be here. I don't know about you, but it is not of any... It's not getting me any closer.
Can I get a perception check from everyone with disadvantage? Ooh. Okay. Yeah. That's looking bad for most of you. Sam and Josla, you both noticed this. Sam, you notice it kind of late, as the rest of you are all kind of discussing and thinking and imagining, and it's that normal thing. As things are discussed, your mind starts to visualize things. Someone says boat, you imagine a boat. Even not necessarily like you're trying to actively imagine or think of something. It's just normal. It's just how the brain continues on as you live and breathe and discuss. And because of the weight given to thought here, that kind of pulls your brain's own awareness away from the eyes. This kind of sneaks up on you almost. Suddenly, a number of rocks and chunks of what looks like ground are slowly drifting towards you. Not at any dangerous speed, but they are getting very, very close to you. And these are large enough that you definitely could have noticed them from far away. They're coming up from below you, for what it's worth. And suddenly they're kind of upon you.
I think about standing on them and testing them out and seeing if they're any kind of thing we can interact with.
Seems to work a charm. You land down pretty comfortably. In fact, as these kind of rush up to meet you, some of you feel a slight bit of pain as the earth just kind of collides with your legs. If you guys want to pop your tokens on this map again.
Perhaps we won't need a boat.
Just kind of...
Maybe this is a boat.
Those of you who notice it in time are able to kind of ready yourselves, but there's an awkward thing. Sam, you kind of get it right. You imagine being stood, being stable on this space. Joe Slayer, not so lucky. You've got more time. So you do what you would reflexively normally do. You brace your legs. You get your muscles ready. and it doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. As you kind of land down, you sort of land on your ass a bit, as do the rest of you. And there's a moment where you kind of have to reconcile the fact that you are now physically moving through the space without being responsible for your own movement, with neither your muscles nor your thought having any say on the matter. It's like being in a cart. You're just moving. Your body can usually reconcile it, but this is such a different space. It just takes a moment longer as you're sort of slowly lifting upwards, kind of drifting through the space atop this loose agglomeration of rocks.
What are these symbols?
Yeah, I look around at the symbols and I try to identify what they are.
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check. Very cool. This is pretty straightforward stuff. You're not quite sure on the specifics. You're not particularly familiar with these markings, but the spell forms are all pretty much the same. The geometry as well, very straightforward, very recognizable. This was intended for some kind of teleportation spell or magic.
I'd say, we appear to have a teleportation spell here.
We could use that if it's still functional currently. You're not sure.
Yeah. I would like
Do you think you might be able to use it, baby legs?
I believe I may be able to figure it out, but it may take some time. I think everyone should look around just to make sure we're safe.
And
I'd like to walk over to the edge.
Yeah, if y'all are heading towards the edge and taking a look around, go ahead and make a perception check just to get a lay of the land.
As everyone's doing that, I'm going to just go and start studying the symbol to see if I can figure out how to activate it or if it's active.
Yeah, cool. I'll get everyone's perception checks in and then resolve from there.
I try and throw a rock. See what it does.
Yeah, like you find like you're able to throw something just fine. Like things that normally would require your muscles. Like if you're holding onto something and then you throw it, then it propels through the space. If it were not currently being propelled, it needs to be acted upon by an external force. Basically, that force can be physical, or it could be mental. In this case, the physical force is perfectly adequate, which for you is probably a bit reassuring.
I like to do things physically. I'm not good at mentally.
So as for that perception check, Maxwell, you throw this rock, and as your eyes kind of follow it, it's kind of funny because you're watching it, and because the space is kind of, it's hard to get an idea of like where this thing is, and very quickly your eyes start to lose how far or close it is to you, and it kind of looks like it could be this huge rock really far away, and you're quite entertained, I imagine, by the idea of like throwing a planet-sized rock and having it just drift out into space. And you're like, I wonder if I could skim a moon. Like your mind absolutely goes off with this, and as you're watching it, you see another similar-sized object shifting as well. And then you kind of realize, like, I don't know how this works in your brain, but like you focus on that and these two things are similar. You know deep down that like one of them is small and close and the other one is similar sized. It must be big and far away, but it's not until they kind of pass that point where you see the one you threw getting smaller and this other one getting bigger that your mind kind of clicks like, oh, that's a big thing coming close to us. And then you realize it's quite close. It's coming at a significant amount of speed. And as it's drawing closer, suddenly a number of, how do I describe this? It looks like a hippopotamus in like Napoleonic military regalia. One just kind of lands on the stone nearby you. As they land down, they're holding this peculiar looking thing in their hand. It's almost like a metal slab with these two spikes sticking out of it, sort of holds it out in your direction, and these two little arcs spring between these two spikes, looks up at the group of you. As he does so, a number of them start to constitute behind him.
Hello.
As they all kind of land down in this space, some of them just kind of float in the area behind.
Was this you, Max? What did you do?
I threw a rock. It
turned into a hippopotamus?
In a way.
Can you tell us how to get out of this place?
Yes.
Before he answers you, the first one who landed down looks at the other ones. You hear him speak in common. This appears to be it. This is where we were getting the readings from. Starts moving towards you all and... I'm sorry to inform you that we're going to have to detain you. You appear to be a dangerous source. I've come to take you in. We will use force if necessary.
I turn to him and I say, detain us for what?
You appear to be bringing grand instability to all of the planes and the spaces within and beyond, an instability the likes of which we have not experienced in our lifetimes. We would require that you come to a secure location so that we could, at the very least, rectify the damage you've done.
We are just trying to leave.
Well, we can assist you in leaving if you will come with us. Thank you.
That sounds like a reasonable request without the detaining.
Because we consider you to be dangerous under Article 79, we must detain you.
What if we tell you our names?
Then we would detain you and also know your names.
My name is Maxillan Bartelos.
That's wonderful.
In any of my religious musings, did I come upon, like, Napoleonic hippopotami?
No. Fun fact, the plural is hippopotamodes. It's Greek.
Hippopotamodes.
Same as actually true for octopus. It's a Greek word. So the plural is actually octopodes or octopodes, depending on how much of a shit you give.
I just turn to him and I'm like, my mission is too great, and I do not have time to be detained.
I think you'll find your mission is the ultimate destruction of the multiverse. We simply cannot allow that to happen.
Quite the opposite, actually.
Then do explain to me why you are at the center of all of this ongoing instability.
Well, I'm trying to locate the creature in which is causing all of this to happen.
As far as our readings are concerned, and he looks down at the device he has in his hand, you appear to be the creature, so consider your quest at its end. You have successfully found yourself, and now we must detain you.
Mission's done.
I prepare to defend myself.
Well then, as he takes, sort of, without any discussion, he goes to take a step back, and the others all move to accommodate him. They pull off their backs what looks like muskets and sort of lower them down, pointed at you. This is now your last chance to comply. First rank ready.
As they do that, I'd like to cast a spell or start to cast a spell. Which I should cast. I would like to cast Enlarge Reduce on the orc.
Okay. Let's roll initiative and we'll see how that resolves. Depending on how quickly that plays out. That's basically what's going to cause initiative here. I believe we have there is a 20 for the first combat roll. I'm willing to say that includes initiative, and because you're trying to cast a spell, you can use that if you want.
Okay, yeah, I'm up for that. I'll cast Enlarge Reduce on the orc. He doubles in size, so he'll be, not doubles, 8 times, but he goes up a size class.
I dig it.
He's a big boy.
In these last couple of moments, I'm just going to turn to Samuel and say, "You know the most about this. Are we fighting?"
I'm just gesture towards them. I'm actively in a stance where I'm about to cast spells and attack. So yeah. Just give you a nod.
All right. Yeah, I'll get the rest of you to roll initiative as well.
So we've been doing a different kind of initiative. I can roll it for you on the other screen if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
The camera can track it.
Yeah, I'm essentially manually adding these into the tracker. They have a slightly different way that they.
So we have an API that we've been using, so the camera can follow it.
Yep. I'm also happy for this to play out in the wide here. If we don't need to be too zoomed in, we should be able to fit everything on the screen pretty comfortably. Can they? I don't want them rolled into the initiative.
Then you can just delete them off it.
Yeah, I was saying I was.
Or you can change their initiative.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was manually adding them into the turn tracker. Give me a hot second. I'll readjust those now.
Yeah, it's just so the camera will ping to anything if Penny's not there.
Is it pronounced GIF or GIF?
It's pronounced GIF. And no one says GIF. Cool. That should be good to go. I think some things need to be a little bit reordered here. Yeah, because Charleston and Maxwell are going to act first. Cool. That should be sorted now in the turn order. Let's kick it off. Yeah, Charleston, go ahead.
Charleston doesn't want to just outrightly attack these dudes just yet, but he will say to one of this guy who's closest. I shouldn't point at the screen. Let me bring it. Say, "Hey, Hippo, what do you call the cow after the bomb explodes?"
There's no particular response from him. So he just sort of looks a little bit puzzled, but not devastatingly so.
Noble. And cast Tasha's
Hideous Laughter on the main one. Okie dokie. I'm going to blow one of my 20s. I've got him. I'm using him.
Maxillen laughs.
He does not find it funny.
These guys are dry. And I'm just going to go back here.
All right. Maxillen, you're up.
Aha. Right. So I am going to presuming that he's been given purpose with his newfound size category, he is going to leap forwards towards the hippos. And as he does so,
assuming you leap forward with your mind.
Yes, he's going to think forward at these hippos, and he's going to raise his warhammer as he accelerates through the air and say, you will remember him saying this before, and he says it exactly the same.
With the power of the Emerald Fold, I call the storm to me!
As from somewhere, lightning strikes his warhammer, kicking it back, and water begins to pool around him. And I would like one of these guys to... Oh, wait. All of them to make a dexterity saving throw for me.
Dexterity saving throw, let's go.
DC 13.
Yeah, cool. I'm going to do the physical dice thing because I like physical dice and I've got a dice tray and everything, so that's how I do things. Cool. What happens on a failure? What happens on a success? Let me know.
It's half damage.
Cool. Go ahead, roll damage.
It's half damage, right?
Yeah,
half damage. Cool. So is it? I don't know whether you want me to roll individual d6s for each, or just one roll.
Assuming it's an aura, if it's a single instance, roll a single. Roll through.
Nice.
Oh, well.
Sick. Oh man. Well, I can't half one.
I've beaten the system.
Their faces aren't enormously expressive, but there is a slight ripple of bemusement as this all kind of plays out, and like this big and then nothing really kind of happens. Their skin just gets a little bit slick with wet. Their uniforms start to damp a little bit, and they seem otherwise unfazed.
I'm then going to hit them.
Go ahead.
I'm going to hit this one here first.
Sure.
Where is my sheet? Here is my sheet. So this is with my +2 Warhammer. 22.
22. Okay. That will definitely hit. Go ahead.
Ooh. 13 bludgeoning damage.
That's how you roll dice. As like an actual proper hit comes across, and like suddenly there's this wham, like right in the thing's chest. As its grip kind of like shifts a little bit as it seeks to hold on to its rifle. And like suddenly they're clearly taking you a lot more seriously than they were a moment ago. Second attack.
Ooh. And with my Crusher feat, I'm going to send this guy 5 feet this way towards Speedy Joe, and I say, "You can have this one," as I swat him in that direction.
Sure.
And I'll make another attack against this guy.
Okay.
Does a 17 hit?
17 will hit, yep.
Sweet. This one takes 11 bludgeoning damage. The other one should have also taken 15 because I didn't add rage.
Ah, gotcha. Cool. I'll add that in now, and then 11 on this one. Brilliant. And I assume it's getting pushed 5 feet.
Yep, I'll send this guy also to the side. I'll slowly start funneling them in that direction.
Okay, so that middle guy. Brilliant. Okay.
And that is my turn.
Okay. As the one that has been given the order so far, reform ranks, first rank fire. As the two of them are just going to line up muskets and fire at you. Did you recklessly attack here?
No, I didn't. And also, I just forgot something else. I have been enlarged reduced. So those instances of damage also have a plus D4 added to them. So the first one is not just 15, it is also 19. And the second one is
cool.
Should be 14.
Yep, brilliant. Okay. The two of them that are right next to you naturally have disadvantage. That's not going to stop them. They're going to try anyway. What's your armor class currently?
22.
22. This is going to go badly for them, I imagine. Yep. First one, just completely like between the two of them, they both fire off these curious muskets. The first one just completely misfires. It kind of grazes the ground and skims underneath your legs. The second one, it's like right towards you, but just like poof, kind of pads off your armor with absolutely no issue. The one remaining one does not have disadvantage. He gets to roll as normal, and I'm going to blow one of my 20s on this. I had one more, so I'm going to use it now. I'm feeling it now, Mr. Krabs. Gets a really square hit on you, like from the side in the jaw. That's going to be a big ass roll. I can say ass, right? That's a total of 22 piercing damage on you.
And I'm raging, so that becomes 11.
Yep. As this, and the one in charge goes, "That's the spirit." Which brings us to, oh my goodness, they go immediately next because none of you guys ended up between 15 and 10. That could be really bad for you guys. Then he goes, "Second rank, fire!" The three of them fire at the same target. I don't have any more natural 20s I can blow, so the first two are just outright misses. And the third one, oh, isn't that beautiful? Don't you love to see it?
Nice.
So 2 misses and a crit seems to be the order of the day. For a steaming total of 15 piercing damage, which you halve down to 7. As another just square shot, like in towards the neck. That's the stuff. And he sort of leans down into his device and, "We'll need fire support." Which brings us to Danny.
Woohoo! How you doing, Max?
I'm just going to some turns here.
You surviving?
Bullet holes in him.
I'll be all good.
Okay, I'm gonna... Let's see. We're still on 10-foot squares, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it
5 foot.
Yep,
Is it 5 foot?
Yeah.
5 foot.
Yeah, 5 foot squares. And your thought is
And
your
movement is still mind movement?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna... Okay. Sorry. Gonna run on up to this boy.
Yeah, let's go.
And I'm
Next player
gonna
attack
smack
roll
him
has a
with
natural 20.
mace. Is that me?
I assume so.
I'm gonna smack him with a mace then.
Go ahead.
Hang on. When I find my mace. Hold up. 2 seconds. Okay. So we'll assume that's a nat 20.
Yep.
My double 9s, 3s. Woohoo! Okay, so with a bit of a scream, Danny is gonna smack this guy in the face.
Yeah, cool. Roll damage.
Should I just do that twice again? Is that what we're doing?
It's just double the number of dice.
So I think that's right, yeah?
No, that's added
and
to
then you
strength mod
take
twice.
off
So you just
the
double the number of
strength.
dice. So you just do 2d6 plus strength mod. So we could just cut the strength mod off the second one there to make it a 3. So that's
Yeah.
12 overall.
Yep,
Cool.
cool. Now that works. Awesome.
Brilliant. All right, yeah, just a proper wallop to the gut as he kind of. Anything else on your turn?
I think for now that is me. Hang on, I will just click done.
Cool, Sam, let's go.
I'm going to make an Arcana check to use one of my spell scrolls.
Yeah, go ahead. What's scroll are you using?
26, and it'll be DC 16, so I get it. I am
Yep, you're
using
right.
Chain Lightning.
Ah, outstanding.
I am casting it on this one, and then targeting these 3. It
On the
bounces
back
off. Yeah.
Okay, cool. What's the DC for the save?
DC's 15.
15 dex. Cool. All right, roll some damage for me.
Yeah, it's 44.
44. Well, hot dog. Wow, I'm thanking my lucky stars there. The front one that you hit takes an absolute shellacking. The ones on the back rank fare a little bit better, but not by much. As it sort of kind of racks across them, and as you hear the one in command go, "Hold rank!" Anything else on your turn, Sam?
I might move back a bit.
Yeah, that seems like a sensible, safe idea.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay, Joe.
Am I right to understand that the one in charge is at the center of the back rank?
No, the one in charge is my goodness, I'm unable to ping. It's it's front left. It's this guy that I've moved around.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I will circle around the back and say, not much. I will strike the one in the middle of the back with my hammer.
Okay, go ahead.
I couldn't think of anything good to say, but
You've just got very quiet all of a sudden, by the way.
my apologies. Is it still quiet?
Oof. That's not going to do it, unfortunately.
No. I'll swing again. I get 2 attacks. Does a 12 do anything?
No, it doesn't. Wow, that went really badly for Joe. By the way, I'm just going to throw this out there now. If someone donates $100, I'll do the rest of my session in a Kermit voice. Why not? It's for charity.
Yeah, it's not.
I'll still have to do the character voices and the character voices, but everything else will be Kermit.
Get in there, guys.
I think that'll be the end of my turn.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, which brings us to top of the round with Charleston. Okay. Actually, hold on a hot second. Sorry. Just before you go, fire support is coming in. The vessel that you were seeing in the distance, Maxilin, that they seem to have somehow come here from, you hear this loud kind of... It's kind of this dull thud, but it's loud. There is a ripple, this shockwave washes past you. It doesn't physically shift you. And an enormous slug projectile. This thing is like person-sized. If it weren't for the fact that you are currently enormous, this thing would be brutal on you. I'm going to roll that one real quick. It has a very good chance of hitting you, and it is going to hit you. Luckily, it didn't crit you. That could have been a lot worse. This will just be straight up piercing damage. Yeah, on anyone else it would be bludgeoning because it's enormous, but on you I'm going to say piercing because you have enlarge on you for a total of... Yeah, how many times I'm rolling the dice there? For a total of 46 damage that you have.
Okay.
This absolute... And it pushes you back 10 feet.
That was meaty.
Just this like this thing was enormous. You get the sense that it's not something that's going to be able to fire particularly often. But at any rate, Charleston, back to you.
That does change a few things. Because we're in this weird plane, because we're not moving with our muscles, can we float off of these rocks or no?
You absolutely can.
Yeah, it's good to know. He probably won't do it now. Halfling, he can move through creatures, so he's going to go on to the other side of our big boy.
Yep.
Still has a nat 20 stealth roll from previous DM if you're letting it slide.
Yeah, no, that tracks, so go.
Cool.
Oh my god, someone's hold it. Apparently someone's already thrown $100 in. No, I gotta do it. I gotta do the rest of the session as Kermit the Frog. All right, so that's a natural 20 on your stealth roll. Now that you're stealth, what's your plan?
So that's my bonus action.
I wish I hadn't agreed to do this so early. I got to keep this up for 2 hours now.
Amazing. So stealth to hide, bopping out here with me booming blade forge short sword.
All right, roll with advantage. That's definitely going to be hit. Roll damage, please.
And we'll not forget sneak attack this time. Like an
good call. That's a lot of damage.
Mobile feet can sneak back without any attackable opportune.
So that's 22 damage.
Sir.
All right. He's looking pretty beat up right now. He's starting to look quite winded. He's breathing heavily. He's still trying to reload his musket. Which brings us to Maxilin.
Yep. Okay, I'm going to drink my potion of healing that I have from a while ago. The first bracket of healing potions, what were they again? George, if you know my other
I'm not 100% sure.
I think they were greater.
Brackets?
That's not what I wanted to do.
I can't see my other monitor.
8d4 plus
greater,
8.
Yeah, greater healing potion, 84 plus 8.
Okay, I'm going to have to...
Unstopper this potion and...
Roll 8d4 plus 8. Does that work? It didn't seem to work.
You should just be able to manually roll 84 plus 8.
Yeah. Sorry about this. And I'm assuming
it's really hard for people to take me seriously. I've made a mistake. 21 hit points, not bad.
Sweet. And I'm assuming, because I'd have to let go of my hammer. I'm assuming I'd be able to just think it in place, drink, and then
you should be able to drink the potion with just one hand.
So I have a shield in the other hand.
Well, then you'd need to drop your hammer for a moment.
Cool. And because it's not falling all the way to the ground, I'm assuming I can just grab it again and...
Yeah, when you actively think about it not falling, then it doesn't fall as you let it go.
Sweet. Don't know what the deal is with my monitor.
I'm going to take that off so I'm more comfortable.
But yeah, I'm going to. I'll just have to worry about that later. I'm going to run back in.
All right.
And are we going health potions as
no health
bonus
potion
actions?
health potion still in action.
Okay, cool. Then as a bonus action, I'm going to raise my Warhammer again and take the recoil as I blast everyone with lightning.
All right. What do I need to do?
4 dex save.
Dex save. All right. Same DC.
Yep.
All right.
And if they fail, it is halved.
Okay.
Sorry, succeed. It's
pass.
halved.
All right. Okay.
So just quickly, doesn't everybody have quick drink?
Oh yeah, I think we do.
Probably do. I definitely didn't put it on anyone's sheet.
Yeah, I don't think it's on a sheet, but I'm pretty sure I remember it in the.
Okay, then that
rundown.
doesn't happen, and instead I hit them.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll just roll to hit.
There we go.
Where is it? Sorry about this. There we go. First hit is 18 on this guy here.
Okay, yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
Sweet. And I'll send him to the side. That empty space.
Sure thing. By the time you send him to the side, he is a corpse, and he just drifts off into nowhere. As you just kind of knock the wind right out of him, this enormous warhammer, and like blood and teeth kind of spray out of his mouth. A couple of them sort of land on you, and he just goes floating off, calmly into space. It's hard for me to do more drama.
Truly traumatizing.
Goodbye.
You mess with the bully, you get the horns. And second attack as well, please.
Cool. I'm gonna hit this guy. And
I didn't quite see the ping there. Sorry, which guy?
This guy.
Sure thing.
Cool.
Yep, that'll hit. Roll damage.
That is 8 damage.
8 damage.
Plus
all right.
1d4 for being
Plus
a big boy.
1d4 for being
so 12
enormous.
damage.
12 damage. All right.
Just gonna. And it's my turn.
Okay, that brings us to that guy's dead. Let's just go ahead and let's just get rid of that. I'm not going to leave the corpse there set dressing. As the main one yells out, "Salvo! Salvo!" The front two are gonna they sort of stop their reloading and pull like a strange spherical device off their belts, and they both lob them over the heads of Danny and Charleston. They land kind of in the middle of you guys, and I need everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
I have a 20 on a dex saved from Alex, saved up from before.
All right, go ahead then.
So that'll be a success from me.
Yep, no problem. Yeah, not looking good for the rest of you though. And Maxwell, what's your save looking like?
It's 22.
It's 22. All right, I'll just take your word for it.
Yep, that was from Alex.
Sure.
In the donations. Thank you, Alex.
Good stuff. All right, I'm gonna roll some dice. Hang tight. I thought, yeah, I've got enough dice. I got all my dice out, but I was wrong.
It's never good when he needs more dice.
I probably shouldn't be smiling so hard as I do this. It gives a bad impression.
It adds to the Kermit voice.
Just an absolute psychopathic frog.
It's impossible to do a Kermit voice.
13 piercing damage, please, from the first one, and then I need a second dexterity saving throw. Those of you who got above I think the only person who actually passed is Maxwell, so you take half that.
So
and
it's
then half again
13?
from rage. Yeah, 13.
13. So is that 6 or 7
heavy.
halved?
It's always rounding down, so that's 6.
6 and then halved again. So
half again from rage, so it's only 3 on you. And then this next one is looking even worse for the rest of you.
Second one is 24, and looks like everybody failed their save.
Oh, the
failed twice in a row.
Save.
Nice.
Was that 24?
24, yeah, piercing damage. The first one got a really low damage roll. This one was more normal.
Yep. And my how much damage was this one, did you say?
This is 24, so Maxwell, you still have this down to 12.
Cool. And I got a 21 on my second deck. Is it 2 deck saves?
Oh, sorry, on your second one, no, that's a pass. So 24, you have to 12, so, and then have again to 6.
6 damage.
You take 3 from the first one, 6 from the second one, while everyone else takes a beating. Sam is down.
Oh.
Sam is down.
The one in charge goes, "That's it! Keep the fire up, boys!" The 3 on the back ranks, they all have disadvantage because Joe is within 5 feet of them. They are still trying to fire forward at Maxwell. First one is a miss. The second one is your armor class is 22, yeah?
22.
All right, that's a miss. That's a 20. And you are a lucky son of a gun. That's all of them just kind of fire off and completely whiff the shots. Their discipline doesn't seem to be what it ought to be. Which brings us to, gosh, now I got to press done like 5 times in a row.
You can just delete them and only have 1 on.
I kind of like pressing the button. It makes me feel like I'm doing something. Danny, you're up. Both literally and figuratively.
Okay. I think I'm going to use... Hang on. Max, how are you doing?
12.
12.
I am in a lot of pain.
Okay. Sorry, will I just panic for a little minute here? Where do I dish out my magical band-aids first? Okay, I'm going to use up my bonus action first. Just to yell out a big old healing word out to Sam. So I will do that at 3rd level.
Are you rolling that?
Sorry, team. Yep, I'm doing that.
Cool.
All right, and something very spicy happens as you cast the spell as well. Somebody has given a wish that a random player will cast Simulacrum. So as you attempt to cast Healing Word, you also cast Simulacrum on Sam.
What does that do?
It essentially creates a copy of him that obeys your commands. There is now a copy of Sam in the fight.
Okay, and that did how much actual healing? 13 all up.
It should just roll. It's added the wisdom twice, I think.
It's got like high level cast in there as well.
Wasn't it 6?
What? Sorry, what level did you cast it at? Sorry,
I cast it at 3rd level.
At 3rd level should be 3d4 plus wisdom.
Has it done the right thing in there? It's got like 2.
Oh, I think I see what it's saying. Yeah, okay. I think so. That's a 13.
Yeah, that's what it's done.
Yeah, that's you rolled 2 4s and a 3.
Yeah, cool.
Pretty good.
That's sorted. And sorry, guys, I'm also just trying to remember what my thing does that I heal myself a bit as well.
To make this as easy as possible. Technically, the Simulacrum obeys the commands of whoever created it, which would be Danny. But Sam, because you are more familiar with the character, I'm going to say on your turn, also control the Simulacrum.
Okay.
That sounds perfect.
It sounds like you have effectively doubled in efficacy. Thank you.
So I get back 5 hit points as well. If I'm reading that right.
Yeah, that happens. You do good get that. That's correct. And what else in your turn?
Okay, so I've helped you out a little, and I think at this time I'm also gonna give I can do, because that was my bonus action, so I'll do a Cure Wounds on Max as well.
All right, sure thing.
Sweet.
And I'm going to do that at 3rd level too, so my buddies don't die.
All right, and you'll get another 5 hit points from Blessed Healer as well.
Yep, I'll add those in just a jiffy. Okay, so my level 3.
I am watching the clock, desperately wondering how long I have to keep this place up for. Somebody also donated while we're between a couple of turns for me to sing "Take Me Home, Country Roads." Weirdly enough, this is not the first time I have done that as Kermit the Frog. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is out there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, blowing like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home. Country roads. You're welcome. That's been immortalized on the internet now. All right, Sam, your turn.
So, being that I've doubled and I'm mad for having a grenade thrown at me, we're gonna double fireball.
All right, that's a very reasonable reaction as well, by the way. Where are we targeting this fireball?
We're targeting them right here.
All right, that will catch 2 of your allies.
I am an evocation wizard.
Oh, right, of course, you can just exclude them. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay, in that case, they're all going to make a dexterity saving throw at DC 15. Okay. One of them's already dead. I need to roll 1 less dice. All right. Barbecued hippopotamus is on the menu. One of them is burned to a crisp. And the remaining damage, it's a pretty solid hit on pretty much all of them. Let me just resolve that real quick. The rest of them are still standing, but they're looking pretty crispy. And one of them, the one that appears to be in charge, you see him pick up his device. And there's longer than we thought. We need backup. We need immediate backup. Immediately. He seems completely flustered. His voice is getting croakier as his vocal cords seem to have been singed in the blast.
I'm also gonna just, for the last thing of my turn, I'm just gonna move away again. Well, let me select my token now for some reason.
Yeah, and as the second, so you finish your turn, and then the simulacrum fires off its fireball, and the rest of them are completely toasted.
Oh, nice.
As the second one, just keep in mind the simulacrum has the exact same spell slots as you when it was created. So any resources it expends, you will also need to keep track of.
Cool. Well, there goes all my level 3s.
We did it.
Because you got downed, I'm assuming your concentration ended for enlarged.
It would have been enlarged, that's correct.
Yeah.
You're just a regular-sized guy now. I think I might have to stop this voice at the halfway mark because my throat's getting sore.
Understandable.
All right. What's next?
So we've still got this big ship flying at us, eh? Oh, wait, sorry, it's not my turn.
As we're out of initiative, as these all kind of get toasted to a crisp, you see the large ship kind of pull back a little bit. Can I get everybody to make a perception check real quick?
Sure. Also, how much healing did you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Because it was cure wound.
It was.
What were the high level casts?
You got 13 altogether, I believe.
Cool. That looks right.
All right, so I'll resolve those perception checks as well. This makes a lot of sense because, Joe, you're facing the wrong way anyway, so I'm not surprised you don't see this. And Charleston, you are still hiding behind two larger people. As for the remaining three of you, you see the ship. It starts to peel away. There is a moment of confusion where it's not exactly clear why it is leaving. You assume there would be reinforcements aboard, and also its weapon seems to be considerably powerful. Then you see what it is. The astral dreadnought.
I'm going to go back into my normal voice, or we're going to lose all the gravity of this. The astral dreadnought that you've been seeing in the distance up until now. I'll switch back into the Kermit voice at the end so that person's $100 don't go to waste. You see it kind of peel up behind the ship. Again, like it's the case of like as it's in the distance, just the difference in size. You don't initially see it, and then it kind of like rears its upper body up, its torso. It's got this long, almost slug-like body that stretches off into the distance, but far past what you can see. That part's blocked by the ship, but you suddenly see its upper body rear up above the ship. Its head alone is as colossal as this somewhat spherical ship. It has these two large appendages, these almost lobster-like pincers. You see the pincer is about as colossal as this ship. As it's moving in towards it, it goes to grab it. The ship is like accelerating and trying to get clear. And just as it looks like it's got clear of the initial pincer, the second one comes up from underneath it, catches the entirety of this enormous vessel and just splits it down the middle. And suddenly the two parts of it just kind of drift, carried by what little momentum they had left. And the astral dreadnought moves the other pincer around in a scooping motion to pull as many of the things that have fallen free of the ship in towards its enormous mouth.
All right. You were about to see something. We can also end the combat here. We can end the initiative. It's over now.
Cool. Sweet.
And I just turn to everybody and goes, well, that was convenient.
I think we should get inside it now.
I like the idea of the teleportation circle so much more.
Eating everything, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to try and get this working. And I'm rushing to try and get this working.
All right, go ahead and make an Arcana check. This is all happening as the enormous hulking creature is floating around. All of the detritus around the ship just scooping things into its mouth. It's just far away enough that you can't hear the screams, and that's probably for the best because there would be a lot of them.
Joe is going to be trying to use his mind to move the big, the chunk that's floating off to the side into contact with the rest of it.
Yeah.
Bring it in, reattach it.
Go ahead and make either intelligence or wisdom, just a flat check with whichever your higher score is.
That's a 17.
Yeah, that'll be enough. It's harder to do it within organic matter, but your latent telekinesis helps you here. As you're able to draw this object in towards you, there is a crush as rock collides with rock, and the two kind of smash together until they fit like two pieces of a puzzle.
Austin will look at Danny. Is there anything you want from these guys' body? And some of that energy from that grenade is making his hands look all fiery. Do you want to check them for anything?
Danny's not as interested in looting as she is trying to work out what these sigils are.
Keep going, you'll get it eventually.
She's going to try and help out Sam.
Does anyone here speak frog?
Maybe just a little bit.
I took an elective in college.
Samuel, is there anything you need? No.
Sorry, hold up. I'm not actually sure. Sam's just spending his full focus on trying to decipher the sigils and trying to figure out what's wrong with the circle and why it's not.
Is there anything I could do that would help? Mm-hmm.
Make a religion check real quick.
We all know how good I am at that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy, it's 12.
Decidedly average.
Sam, you're starting to get a little bit of a sense of this, and a peculiar thing happens. You have a simulacrum of yourself. You are trying to examine this, and without really thinking about it, you kind of will the simulacrum to join you in thinking about it. It's just an unconscious thing. It's almost like the simulacrum tries to approach the problem the same way that you would. And the two of you start examining it together, which is good because as you're looking at this, you think with some time you may be able to crack it, but you're under a little bit of time pressure as this creature is still gorging itself on the corpses from this large ship, but it is starting to reach the end of its meal. Luckily, with the help of the simulacrum, you're able to decipher the meaning of some of these symbols in time. There is a pattern that needs to be established here. You were on the right track earlier as well, Joe, I believe it was, by bringing the other circle in towards this middle part. But Sam, you realize that the orientation of the third circle that Joe is now reattached to this island is just a little bit off.
I was about to ask them to try and turn it, but I realized I might be a little bit better at doing that, so I try to turn the circle with my mind.
All right, same thing. Your choice of wisdom or intelligence. That was Kermit doing his best Morty impression. Your choice of intelligence or wisdom, just a flat check. Oh boy, that was terrible.
Not so great.
The issue here is it's about 180 degrees off where it needs to be. You and the simulacrum both attempt to rotate it and both attempt to go in opposite directions. As you both approach it and sort of stare at it for a bit, and it kind of vibrates, and everyone else is watching what is going on here.
Yeah, I just let everyone know, we need to turn this many degrees. It needs to be this way, otherwise we're going to get eaten.
But can we all pitch in and agree on a direction?
I give them the exact direction it needs to turn to.
All right. So with that, the rest of you, you're able to put your minds together, and as opposed to earlier where you unsuccessfully banded together to visualize a boat. You are now in sync. You're a little bit more familiar with this place. Joe, you've also moved this rock before, and you have the extra mental power of Sam's simulacrum to help you out here. And between that, you're able to drag the rock clockwise 180 degrees. And all of the symbols on the ground flare up at the same time.
I think that brings us to near on time for the changeover.
It certainly does. Hey, nice work, everybody. Big shout out for the Kermit voice. I'm sure you can't see the Twitch chat, but they're all going nuts for it. I can't do a Kermit voice as well as you did. I don't even know why I tried. That brings us to the end of Group 2's player set. You guys, thank you so much for the last 3 hours. I hope you've all had fun. You can each have a minute now if you would like to plug yourselves, social media, podcast, business. Go ahead. Adam, you go first.
I hope everybody has been donating. We've got a very good cause we're supporting here. I'm Adam. I'm Crazy Ideas NZ on Twitter, and I wrote two children's books to help kids learn the names of their feelings through stories, and that's jackfeelsbig.nz if you want to check it out.
That sounds awesome. Thank you very much. You can go ahead and log out, and make sure you log out of Roll20 as well. Thank you.
Will do.
Cool. Thank you very much. Claire, why don't you go next?
Thanks so much, guys. I really don't have anything to plug, so I'm just going to do another big shout out for getting in there and donating more, because this has been awesome and it's for such a good cause. Thanks, everyone.
It seems like cheating that we get to have fun and make money for charity at the same time, right?
Very good.
T, why don't you go next?
Hey guys, my name's T, like a cup of tea. Just big ups again to the mods behind the scenes, to Penny and the crew, and for everyone donating. Such an awesome cause and such good fun. Big up to all the rogues that are coming up, and don't forget your sneak attack like some idiots.
Thanks, man. Hey, just wanted to quickly say I just noticed that the Rogers Academy has just raided us with a party of 13. Hello, we will be playing D&D very shortly. We're just in the middle of a changeover right now, so the party is about to swap in. If you want to wait around for 5 minutes, thank you very much for the raid. T, thank you very much for your time, man. It's great to have you on the team. Yep, there we go. Actually, I'm going to save George for last. Ian, do you want to go next?
Yep. My name's Iain Hannam-Williams. I don't have anything to plug either. But
Maxilin Bartelos would like to put forth a good luck to all other following barbarians. And
thank you. I've loved being on the stream. This is great. I love
honestly,
charity.
I'm glad you had a good time. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. George, why don't you go next?
Yeah, I'm George. I don't really have anything to plug either. I'm just happy everyone came in for the cause and are donating for a very close to me cause. Niece passed away a while ago from cancer. Starship Foundation was huge for it. Yeah, so just shout out to her. That's about it.
Yeah, it's honestly. And hey, just so everybody knows, this guy right here, George, has done all of the Roll20 work for this show. He's done an amazing job of getting everyone's Roll20s working. He's manually created 3 character sheets for every single person, and he's been on call talking with me pretty much 24 hours a day for the last month. So honestly, huge shout out to George. He also donated his personal Roll20 account, which has all of the extra add-ons and stuff in it. There is a lot of cash money that has come through George. I just want to say thank you so much again for your time.
It's all good. Cool.
All right. Bye, George.
Yeah, it's been a joy. Everyone's already left, so I can't thank them for being good players. But hey, maybe they can watch the stream back. Bring in some fresh victims for me, Penny.
1 second. We're going to do it in just a moment. But first, I have to shout out our donors. So I'll do that, and then we'll get our next set of players in, eh? By the way, Kermit the Frog voice has been amazing. You did really well. You can stop now if you want to. We don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely stopping now. I'm going to cause some damage otherwise.
We don't want you to get a frog in your throat, but but yeah, we'll go ahead and shout out our donors. Our current 6 p.m. Total right now is $1,909. So we are less than $100 away from 2,000. That is really, really cool. Thank you so much. So our donors over the last 90 minutes have been Cayman, who donated $20, Scott, who donated $20 and wanted me to say hashtag ButtCar69. If you know, you know. Micah, who donated $20, and actually a nat 20 for Matt's next facial hair check, best stash in the universe. So you want to go ahead and make that check right now? Oh, look, it was a nat 20. Excellent. Dustin donated $10, and the message is GNU Terry Pratchett. A person is not dead while their name is still spoken. Speak their names. Abigail donated $20. Cameron donated $30 and said, "Good job, everyone! A great event for a great cause." And actually, 2 people donated $100 for the Kermit voice. So you actually made $200 from your Kermit voice. That is Michael and Scott both donated $100 for the Kermit voice. So honestly, thank you guys so much. And the Kermit voice has been amazing. And there was David who donated $20, and that was the request for you to sing Country Roads. So that has been really, really cool. Just before the players jump in, I just wanted to give a couple of shout outs to the prizes that we have to give out at the end of the game. There is a board game company called Seriously Bored who has given us a role-playing game and a voucher that we will be drawing, and we'll be giving that to someone in the Twitch chat at the end of the night. No, we'll be giving it to someone who donated. So we are keeping records of everyone who's donated, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to have someone come in at the end and roll a D100 with me, and then whoever that person is going to get a role-playing game and is going to get a $20 note. It's called the North Sea Epilogue role-playing game, and there's also a gift voucher for Seriously Bored in there. The other ones, and the audience is actually welcome to help me with these. I have 4 sets of dice right here. Let's see if I can get the glare off them. I have 4 sets of dice. I'm going to be giving these dice away to the MVP player, the MVP DM, the MVP mod, and the 4th one is a surprise. So if anyone would like to go ahead and make their choices for MVPs known, I gotta say the Kermit voice definitely gets you in the running for that. So
good. Wait till you see what I got for the second half.
Let us know if there's an MVP that you'd like to make sure get those dice. Myself and the mods will be deciding that. It's not going to be a vote thing, but we'll definitely be taking your opinions into account. Yeah, that's it. So thanks again to Seriously Bored for sponsoring us, and thanks to Game Kings who sponsored the dice that we've got through Poppy, who was part of Group 1. So I think that's about it. Players, if you are currently in the chat, why don't you go ahead and turn your cameras and your mics on, or if you're not in the chat, come on into the voice chat that we're playing in, and I'll hand over to Matt, who's going to give you a chance to introduce yourselves, and we'll get back into the game.